afternoon. Welcome to Monday's edition of the social media program on television, The Buzz. It's always a pleasure to be here, and this Monday is no different. Today's Monday is the 12th of November 2018. My name is Patience Belokafo, and of course, since Alero went away, I've been
migrated.
Yes, since she migrated, I've been alone on this table in terms of moderating this show. But I finally have another partner. I have Blossom joining me on the program this afternoon. Hi, Blossom.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm so excited to actually, be part of this show.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
All right. So Blossom, you'll be seeing more of her face with someone else when I do proceed on my leave.
Yeah.
But it's good to have a partner.
Yeah, of course.
Share the responsibility. Yes. The more the merrier. All right, welcome to the show. Of course, on the show we discuss trending issues ranging from politics to current affairs, national issues, lifestyle, entertainment, whatever it is, the social media platforms across board are talking about, we'll discuss them here. And today we have some of those topics penned down. But quickly, let's get through the introduction of the panelists for this afternoon. It's a pleasure to have come back on the program. He's fast becoming a Monday panelist, Akogun Gani Kayode Balogun, who is a renowned journalist. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, madam.
Thank you for coming on the show. Also joining us at the table this afternoon, another regular, a public relations expert, also a social commentator, and a businessman, Mr. Peter Osangbe. Good afternoon, Mr. Peter.
Thank you very much, Patience. Good afternoon, everybody.
Welcome to the show. Okay, another Monday regular is Mr. Godi, the Great of Ose. He's a brand analyst and a journalist as well. Good afternoon, Mr. Godi. And plus, he's a politician. Welcome to the table.
Let's say thank you. Thanks for giving me that code this morning.
Sorry, you finally caught the bug.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Maybe the hot coffee will do you some good.
Yes, I just need to kiss it.
Yes. All right, the number to use is 0802-836-8971 for viewers, and it's for SMS only. All right, let's start by way of in other news. Governor Ambode recruits 1,000 officers to join LASTMA in Lagos State in a bid to strengthen the workforce of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority. LASTMA, the Lagos State government has recruited additional officers to complement the efforts of existing personnel in order to ensure efficient service delivery on the roads. Chairman of State Civil Service Commission Oyemade Adeyinka Taiwo declared that the move was geared towards providing adequate monitoring and assessment of state roads, particularly at strategic locations. And they went on to say this particular move is because they are working on boosting the efficiency of the workforce by improving the working conditions of LASTMA personnel, promising that citizens will soon be engaging more reliable and informed LASTMA officials on the roads. All right, in 10 seconds each gentleman, let's comment on this. Akogun, we'll start with you.
It's just one arm of the problem that we need to solve. The roads are bad. They are extremely bad. And while I know for sure why these people are employed, because there was a time that once it's 9 p.m., LASTMA guys are out to road, and everything will just fall apart.
Yeah.
So I understand, I was talking to their boss, their GM, Wale Musa, and he was complaining of manpower problem. This will solve the problem in the short term. But the main solution remains to do something about the bad roads.
All right, Mr. Peter.
Yeah, basically, in my view, it has helped, if you like, on job creation, whether you like it or not. Some persons will be off the street and earn an income from that. But the overall challenge, like Brother Kobe said, is that the roads have to be sorted out. If you check too, recently, you just noticed that the traffic is building up at 4 o'clock, and by 6 o'clock, it gets worse because last one is understaffed as it were, and they are on the road.
Okay.
So it's a welcome development.
All right.
Thank the governor for that initiative.
Okay, Mr. Godi.
I think my governor has done well. He's always a very proactive governor. I love him, despite the fact that we are not in the same party. He's a man I would love to come over to my party. he has done very, very well. Besides, I think also the governor also needs to look at the roads. It's not the problem of last man per se. It's actually the roads problem. The potholes everywhere. You get to see traffic slow down at some point. Like Peter said, the traffic does not just build up like from 5 and 6. It is from morning, from 6 o'clock to if you like 10 o'clock at night. So I think more effort should be put into fixing our roads and making it more travel.
Okay. All right. Well, the Lagos State government has said the recruitment of more qualified personnel into the agency is part of an elaborate plan to manage the growing menace of heavy traffic situations on major roads in the state. So that's in collaboration with what you've said. All right, also in other news, Chinese firm allegedly sacks workers over refusal to practice Buddhism. The management of a Chinese firm, Yiwu Baolian Import and Export Company Limited in Lagos, have been accused of terminating the appointment of some of their staff who refuse to practice their religion, Buddhism. Some members of staff of the company said the owner of the company, a Chinese woman, introduced Buddhism at the company's office and has allegedly compelled them to bow to worship her Buddha, and that anyone who refuses to bow would be dismissed immediately. One of the staff who was recently sacked said their boss introduced the religious practice to them in 2017. Although the woman has come out to deny the allegation, accusing her workers of lying against her, according to her, she found out that most of them were disrespectful and wanted to teach them how to be respectful. She says bowing down while greeting indicates respect, and that is what she's trying to teach them. Interesting. We'll start with you, Mr. Godi.
I think the woman should be aligned with the Yoruba culture. Because this morning when I walked in here, I have to bow to greet her.
Did he force you to do that?
Mr. Peter, because they are my elder brother, so it's part of it. I think it shouldn't be as severe as that. Someone is working for you and you are paying that person. I don't think part of the engagement rules that you have was you have to come and bow for me. Maybe if we could motivate some of them by saying, if you bow for me, you get a certain amount of money. And you still begin to see a lot of respect coming through from them. Because, that said, I think the woman should first of all try to practice either Christianity, Islam, or the other religion that we do practice in Nigeria if we actually want to bring Buddhists to Nigeria. I don't think it is a proper way to go about it. Those people have a case. From our response, you will know that those people may not be far
from the truth.
Far from the truth.
Okay.
So I think government should look into this.
Okay.
This is not ideal. This is not very, very ideal for our system.
All right, Mr. Peter.
There's a limit to which government can do. I'm opposed to us calling government
into every situation.
Please, now people should seek legal redress. There's industrial courts, there's the general courts, for you to seek redress. They should get legal, advice.
Representation.
Yeah, that's one on its own. Then two, I run a business myself. I know this story doesn't add up.
Both sides.
Yeah, both sides.
Okay.
Both sides, the story doesn't add up. As an employer of labor myself, I know how workers are. Most workers don't get committed to work. Most workers treat your job with levity, and at the end of the month, they want you to pay them salaries. That's a typical Nigerian, attitude to work, and that's why most businesses don't do well. You see, startup businesses and all that. But our constitution guarantees you freedom of expression, freedom of worship, freedom of association. I do not think that this woman, this Chinese woman, having difficulty, believing this story, will come to this country and coerce you to now, to have worship her God or whatever it is. That story is not complete. We do not know the truth. Both parties are not, coming up with the fact of the matter.
Okay, all right, Uncle, how do you react bringing religion into a place of work, is that appropriate?
I think it's a cultural thing. And the woman must learn that cultures differ. It's ironic because those who are fighting the woman's gods also worship other foreign gods. So it's like fighting a battle. The woman has a point, of course. Our own definition of respect will be tied to bowing down for our God.
3 times.
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily our God.
3 times.
Most Chinese companies all over the world, even in the US, have these Buddhist elements.
Outlook, yeah.
Somewhere where they and if you come in, most of the time, not as a visitor, most of the time you're expected to just show respect. Even in their culture, they don't shake. You have to bow, basically. Like I said, it's a foreign land. You can't force your beliefs on everybody.
Exactly.
But again, the workers too must learn that if you are dining with the devil, you must go to Ophose's streets and buy a very long spoon.
Long spoon. Yeah.
You have
Okay. But having said that, I'm vexed at this story. You know, the fact that anybody can come into Nigeria and lord anything over
Like I
us.
said,
That is one way
most stories are what
of looking at it. That's one way of looking at it.
That's the reason I actually said government should step in. I'm coming. I respect our law.
Labor should step in.
Labor should step in. If government does not step in, again, I mean, we have law enforcement agencies and the rest of it. Some of these issues, and we should also need to respect our people. I am not of the opinion of the fact that it's a Nigerian typical attitude towards work is bad. I am not, because I'm one. I know whatever I do, I put 100% into
Most. Of course,
Okay.
most.
All right. Let's not turn this into a debate. It's not our major topic of the day. Let's go to our main stories for today. But before we do that, let's take a very quick break. When we come back, we'll be going straight into our topics of the day. Join us again.
When if there are issues of finances, if there are issues of fraud, if there are issues of corruption, I don't think those fall within the purview of DSS. I think there are established agencies like the EFCC. We even have a whole outfit, ICPC, whose mandate is expressly to deal with alleged cases of corruption or financial abuses. The role of the DSS is clear: state security. And I am aware from my long time in struggle that when you choose consciously not to oblige power and to side with the oppressed, insist on the rules, and you are determined, even if it means stepping on toes, that those who are beneficiaries of status quo will fight back. But I'm not at the mercy of anyone. I'm only at the mercy of God. And I know that for as long as I stick to the truth, and I...
You're watching The Buzz Monday's edition, and still at the table with me, I have my co-anchor Blossom, who is, learning on the job, as it were. I have Mr. Godi, the Great of us, Mr. Peter Osangbe, and Akogunga and Kayode Balogun. Welcome again, gentlemen. All right, for our first story of the day, but maybe before we go into that, let's quickly read this one that came in just now. Hi, hope the weekend was cool. This is Phil Arebame. Hi, Mr. Arebame. I greet the high-powered panelists. I'm still waiting for cake from Mr. Godi.
All of us are waiting.
I really don't know where we are headed in this country. This is alien to our system, if proven to be true. I think he's reacting to the Buddhism story. All right, our first story of the day. Oshiomole's DSS invitation upon return to Nigeria, embattled National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Adams Oshiomole, has explained that operatives of the Department of State Services, DSS, never arrested or detained him before he traveled out of the country. The Labour leader described his reported detention and grilling by the officers of the DSS last weekend as normal. Specifically, Oshiomole said it was not the first time he would be a guest of the DSS, starting with his days as a labor activist. Oshiomole said, and I quote, "The conversation centered around APC primaries. The question now is whether or not it is the DSS's job to interfere in a political party's issue. And if there's an allegation of corruption, it is the responsibility of EFCC and ICPC." Of course, we are all privy to what's been playing out, between the APC national chairman and some, disgruntled members of the APC too, who felt,
aggrieved.
Yes, who've aggrieved. Thank you for that correction. They blame Oshiomole for their inability to get the gubernatorial tickets, for their party, for their preferred candidate. Anyways, let's now take that clip of Comrade Oshiomole actually having his say on this issue.
If there are issues of finances, if there are issues of fraud, if there are issues of corruption, I don't think those fall within the purview of DSS. I think there are established agencies like the EFCC. We even have a whole outfit, ICPC, whose mandate is expressly to deal with alleged cases of corruption or financial abuses. The role of the DSS is clear: state security. And I am aware from my long time in struggle that when you choose consciously not to oblige power and to side with the oppressed, insist on the rules, and you are determined, even if it means stepping on toes, that those who are beneficiaries of status quo will fight back. But I'm not at the mercy of anyone. I'm only at the mercy of God. And I know that for as long as I stick to the truth, and I stubbornly insist on the rules, and I refuse to be intimidated, I'm fine. I'm not at the mercy of anyone. I'm at the mercy of God. What I pray for is to be able to do the greatest good to the greatest number. It is humanly impossible to please the right and please the left. I'm not an appointee. I'm not a commissioner. I am not a secretary to a state government. But I'm very fortunate to have governors who are very understanding that managing change, changing old habits, evolving new ideas, building a party that is membership-driven, based on principle of popular participation, it will require that those people with power moderate. This process of change cannot go without pain. And whoever wishes to lead change must be ready for a fight back. Just like our president is fighting corruption, and corruption is fighting back. And I told anybody who knows me well knows that you couldn't have supported me to be chairman just to sustain the tradition of a position, the tradition of the big man does no wrong. No, I am used to interrogative power. I am used to fighting on the side of the oppressed. I have fought presidents even when I didn't have state power. And I derive my strength from the depth of my conviction.
Welcome back. All right, so there you have it, gentlemen. Blossom.
Okay, there's something I actually noted. He said, they're actually saying he probably traveled out to avoid the matters on ground.
Yeah.
And he made a statement saying that 3 states were actually the big problems that we have in Nigeria. And I'm trying to understand.
3, yeah.
Yeah, for the party,
yes.
So 3 of it, and he talked about Okorocha, of course, and he talked about that Ibikunle Amosun. And Amosun actually came out and said he had nothing to do about the rotation of the DSS.
All right, let's have your reactions, gentlemen. We'll start with you, Akogun.
Well, Mr.
Since you are like the last person to have seen Oshiomole, you were with him this past weekend.
Not the last person.
You know what I mean, though. Okay.
On this table.
On this table, yes. Okay, go ahead.
I think the point is the man himself has done the explanation very succinctly. Two things. If the accusation is about financial impropriety, it's not the job of DSS.
Or the DSS, yeah.
And it's not an appointee of government, so it cannot be EFCC. So all things that lead to the invitation smacks basically of DSS officers putting themselves in the middle of a political party problem,
Okay.
which is very dangerous because you are imposing yourself, your will on people you have no control over. Like I said, it doesn't say whether Mr. Oshiomole is guilty or not guilty, only that the process that they are using is not right. Like I said, if it's financial fraud, you know where to go. If it is abuse of power, which he doesn't have, you have somewhere to go. And for that, it made sense. And when people said he ran away, it was funny because he clearly stated, very clearly, that the flights were booked before the invitation and that they only delayed him for a day. And it was a personal, private matter he had to go for. And the president was aware. And he came back, I think, Friday night. So somebody who ran away, what kind of running away do you do under 3 days? That's not running away. We know people in this country who ran to Cote d'Ivoire for 3 years. We know people who are in Israel today.
But then, can I interject at this point? If we're talking about following the right process or the right procedure, but why then would the DSS have invited a party chairman?
They had the right. Don't let me be very, very clear. The other has the right to invite anybody, including yourself, basically because their job is to ensure that the state is secure. And if there are actions or inactions that will lead to breakdown of
Law and order,
they have the right to do that. That's not what we are saying. What I'm saying is that if it is basically about financial propriety, it's not their job. They are calling them to say, fine. Somebody said they will burn the country down. You know, if their son-in-law doesn't become governor, they have the right to ask him that. If somebody said he has secrets that could pull Nigeria down, they have the right to call him. But the interpretation here doesn't go that far. It's basically about that. Somebody gave him 400 million. I wrote a petition. They write the petition to the right person. And they're picking up. It's not above the law. But you don't use parts of the state to oppress opponents. Where you know it's a case you cannot win. That's all they're trying to do, if we may go that far, is to ensure that the money is taken out of circulation. For a period where
to allow certain
things to happen, in which they failed.
All right, Mr. Sangui.
My contribution to this is just taking off from where he had stopped, the involvement of the DSS, a state apparatus in a party affair. Now, what has happened, what has played out here, which people are not actually looking at, is that the DSS, the EFCC, have shamelessly, seen themselves as an offshoot of APC, which is not. They ought to not ordinarily be. Now, what is happening here is a play out of how they use the DSS and the EFCC to intimidate the opposition party. So they have now used it against themselves.
So
you see, when you gather for the wrong reason,
it's not the first time the process has been abused.
When you gather for the wrong reason, that is what is happening here. But having said that, I'm not a member of APC. I do not dream to be a member of APC. I will never be a member of APC. But I tell you quite frankly that Oshiomole, despite he belongs to the other side, I have respect and admiration for him. He appears to be, and we must as Nigerians tell ourselves that we are all not corrupt. We are all not terrible people. We are all, some of us too, have some integrity. To a very large extent, this gentleman has some integrity. And like he said, he has been fighting on the side of the oppressed. For him, this is an opportunity to put things right. For him, what is happening in Imo State, for instance, he's been approached and all that, even to be induced financially and everything. He stood He stood on the path of righteousness. Said, what is the right thing to do? Let the best candidate emerge. And the governor of Imo State thought he could use his position as chairman of APC Governors Forum and all that to influence Oshiomole and the man refused. And it is on the basis of that that has now brought this thing to the fore. That is one. Two, it has equally shown that a lot of things happen in APC which happen in other political parties. So now it's clear too that money passes hands.
Of course.
That they can bribe the
everyone has a price tag.
Everyone has a price. Yeah. So I would like to see how this plays out. But however it is, we're sending a very dangerous and wrong message to the public and to the international community Because here is a man, the Buhari came in, fought on the election on the distance of anti-corruption. And that is what his government is hinged on. So if a party whose leader, all right, and president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has fought corruption and is hanging his campaign on anti-corruption, and then within his own party, there's massive bribery, corruption, and all that going on.
Allegation.
Do you understand? Allegation. No allegation. But these allegations, have some, it may be proven to be right. It sends a wrong message that we,
all right, Mr. Osangbe, I get you. Now, I want to come from another angle, Mr. Ofose, because you are with the PDP. But if all Mr. Osangbe and Akogun said, are to be taken, for what they are, then why is Comrade Oshiomole putting the blame at the doorstep of the PDP again, insinuating that some of his party members are conniving with PDP members, because they prefer the impunity of the PDP's era?
Well, you know that one of the stock in trade of the APC is the buck passing. You shouldn't be surprised to anyone that they are going to put all of this on the threshold of an opposition. Okay. If you play that video a bit further, you will hear him say that if a PDP chairman has been invited, the PDP will shout to high heaven. They will write shamelessly to the UN. Because I watched that episode at the other channels, at the other television channels. But my question is, I keep asking myself that, look, Mr. Oshiomole said he wasn't quizzed, that it's one of those things that he visits and have a discussion. And I'm asking myself, Mr. Oshiomole, like he said, he went into his car, he drove himself to a DSS office and had a tea talk with the DSS DG. Is that what happened? Now, if that is what happened, why did he call Yaya Bello? Why did he beckon on the Kogi State governor and said, please meet me at this place? Something is fishy that we don't know. Now, if this was an opposition thing, it wouldn't have ended. Oshiomole, the PDP chairman, wouldn't have left that place. Obviously, he wouldn't have left the DSS. Just because it's a government in power and the APC chairman, and they all know. And some of these things, like I said in the other station the other day, I said, look, we have a president that doesn't want to be seen as the head of state in 1983. He doesn't want to be seen as a man that is fussy, that is a man that wants to apply power, that is a man that is still wearing uniform, that army uniform. He wants to be seen as a man that they allow the due process and everything. In other way, he's not allowing that. Now you can see what is happening now. Right now, Oshiomole is like a bull in a China shop. The moment he's provoked, he's going to scatter the entire place because he's being pushed. If you look at his face when he was talking, he's very angry that all of these things is happening to him. He's very angry because he thought that the invitation to the DSS could be kept under the carpet, that nobody will know. Now, how come did they let that out? How come a DSS official let that out? What happened? They want to embarrass him. They want to make him look like a bad guy.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, all of these things will come back. The three other governors that we have, that he mentioned, that they are the problem in the APC. Oshiomole knew that, those governors knew that all the Senate candidate in the APC, House of Rep candidate in APC, all the House of Assembly candidate, that he single-handedly picked them in his own state. They know that it was their own. And that's why even the governor of Edo State is not happy, because he doesn't even also have his own people representing at the federal. So why is it stopping them from doing that?
Okay, all right. As a PDP man, I understand your anger. But then let's go to the feedback platform. Let's see how viewers are reacting. This one says, Mr. Oshiomole, the DSS interfered because Magu has shown to Nigerians that he is a member of the APC. This other one says, honestly, this APC issue is as confusing as it's dramatic, very entertaining. In fact, the days ahead are definitely going to be more melodramatic. God help us. Phil Arabame said that one again. This other one says, why is it that when governors know they won't continue in office or they are handing over to opposition parties, they employ people? Okay. Anyway, this one says, Oshiomole should not complain, please. He's now complaining and telling DSS their duties. But when DSS was involved in invading National Assembly, which is a political issue, APC and himself were all happy. It is the same institution they are using to fight opposition that is now fighting him / them back.
No, that's not true. Once the invasion was cleared, somebody paid the price. The head of DSS was sacked.
Yes.
And was replaced. So how come that's the norm now?
But what was the stakeholders in the APC saying? What did they say at that time when that thing happened?
The problem with partisanship is that the clouds our sense of listening.
And right judgment too.
Because we get to get carried away.
Yes.
Two things. The two of the three governors that were mentioned under this same Oshiomole got senatorial tickets. They were not taken away from them because they obeyed the rule when it comes to the senatorial elections. Which they did when it comes to the gubernatorial election. It doesn't make Oshiomole right. It doesn't make them wrong. But what people are saying is this. If you want to rock the boat because you don't get your way, then you are not a party player. And if that is the case, and Oshiomole is wrong, go through the normal process. Report him to EFCC, report him to ICPC, report him to IGP. Follow the due process.
Okay.
I get this man 100 million, this is the proof, take to the police.
Okay.
Don't use state apparatus to try to move somebody to resign because you want to present the president with a fait accompli.
Okay.
It's failed.
All right, more feedbacks. Marcus from Brass says, I think our leaders should talk less and learn more. Sometimes the way they talk will bring acrimony. This other one says, please. Okay. Good day, everyone. Hope Madam Patience is fine today as she was feeling under the weather last week. Be strong and have a great week ahead. Talk well from Egbeda. Oh, thank you so much. I mean, it's great to know people actually care.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm feeling a whole lot better, but I think I will be at my best when I finally hand over the baton and just go home and rest. You know what I mean? Okay. All right, let's move on quickly, gentlemen, because of time, to the next topic. Obasanjo reveals cause of Nigeria's problems. Blossom.
Yes, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has revealed why Nigeria is facing many challenges. Obasanjo actually attributed the problems as plaguing the nation to the conscious and unconscious choices Nigerians in power have made over the years. Obasanjo said, and I quote, God did not create Nigeria to be a failed country. God created Nigeria to be one of the leading countries amongst the committee of nations. That we are not there is not the fault of God, but the conscious and unconscious choice of Nigeria, of people in Nigeria. And former President Obasanjo actually advised the people and the government to be proactive in tackling the many problems facing the country. And he stressed the need for the country to take its rightful place amongst the Committee of Nations in terms of development, and not just on the continent, but across the world. And I actually, how will I say this? I kind of support what he's saying because,
Really?
Yeah, because being a leader, at least he has been on the seat of a president before. So I guess he probably must have seen a lot of things, and he feels it's still happening.
So it should know.
It should have an idea
What the issues
No,
are.
it doesn't know.
Okay.
See what it is. See what it is.
I saw that coming.
Patience. First, Obasanjo owes Nigerians
An apology.
Yeah.
unreserved apology.
Yeah.
He should restitute.
Restitution. I like that word. A lot of us need closure on a lot of issues.
He said unconscious.
I'm speaking as a Nigerian now.
Unconscious. Nice man. You know. I'll tell you quite frankly, he's one of the most highly detribalized Nigerian that I have ever come across. And it was very evident when he was president of Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I think I said it here on this program, or not, that the Yoruba race suffered more in the hands of Obasanjo. Appointments, I'm serious. Check the appointments. The appointments were less from the southwest than in other places. It shows his nature. Obasanjo's friends cut across all aspects of our religion, our ethnicity, and all that. But I tell you why I said he owes Nigerians apologies, because Obasanjo contributed to where we are today. He said unconscious choices.
Yes.
The choice of President Muhammadu Buhari was
Cautious.
he consciously made that choice and foisted him on Nigeria.
Yar'Adua
as well. Instead of moving forward, we went backwards. There were other people who were equally as credible, as intelligent, and even better than Yar'Adua, who we know today. But out of Obasanjo's peculiar nature, his selfish nature, he jettisoned them. But I'm now more concerned about the choice of President Muhammadu Buhari. Because now he has changed again, all right? Which I like, because some of us are opposed to certain things that are going on in this country. So that is not the only thing that is wrong with this country, the unconscious choice that he has talked about. One of the problems of this country, and I wish it can change in my lifetime, is this ethnicity, this nepotism. And that is why I'm opposed, or I have issues with the present leadership of Nigeria, where the president of this country consciously make effort to make appointments from a particular religion and a particular ethnic stock. Now, all that didn't happen during Obasanjo's time, but I tell you that this is one of our greatest problems. And until we begin to see ourselves as not just Igbo, not from Ijebu-Ode, don't you get? Not from South-South, but as a Nigerian that is, that can do it. Take, for instance, during the MK Abiola time, people elected a leadership, whether they didn't care whether it was Muslim ticket and all that. And if that had been allowed to hold, we wouldn't be talking about it is now the turn of South-South or Southwest or Southeast to present a candidate. So until we begin to think meritocracy, then that's
all right.
Problems with this.
Okay, Akoku, let's hear from you.
The Aerial Assurance Challenge.
Oh, thank you. But what assurance can you give our daughter?
Everything. With the new look Aerial, I can even do the laundry.
Prove it then.
Okay. Let's make this stain even tougher. Now, let's wash the cloth. With your detergent and with new look Aerial. Do you believe me now?
Aerial, now in a new look pack.
All right, welcome back. We apologize for that abrupt, cut into the program. All right, Akogun, you were saying something. Go ahead.
I was saying that God did not create Nigeria. God don't create nations. He gave you a language, he gave you space, but don't create nations. Miss Shodit, the wife of Lord Lugard, created Nigeria. So let's do that. So there's nothing sacrosanct about the space called Nigeria. So when people say that I should become a Nigerian, it behoves reality. Because I don't have to become a Nigerian. The Nigeria will grow as Nigeria grows. For now, the reality is that we are all attached, one way or the other, to where we come from. So that's a given. I like the prayer though. It may take 20 years. But right now, reality we have is that we must, every man to his tent, with Israel. But having said that, Obasanjo is not the person to lecture on the way forward for Nigeria. He has ruled for 11 and a half years out of 58 years. Exactly.
Even had a third term agenda if we had let it.
24% of our nationhood has been ruled by a man who's now lecturing us on the choices that we made in the past when he's major beneficiary of the Nigerian states. But again, this is a political period, and people will come out and pontificate, say the right things for the right people. But we have moved beyond an Obasanjo, or even a Danjuma, a Gowon. The Nigeria of tomorrow is the Nigeria of the youth. And like we said on this program, until and unless they take charge of the fact that they represent 65% of the population and retire these old men graciously, people like Obasanjo will still come out and tell us things we know. That was a major part of.
Okay. All right, Mr. Fosse.
I think I read that when I saw that Obasanjo lists the reasons why Nigeria is backward or why we are not progressing. I took time to read it, but Mr. President, former president, was not very explicit about some of those things. I thought it could go far and wide to explain what those things and the mistakes he made, and the things that he corrected, and what the current government is doing, those who came before this one. I thought those things could actually help. I'm not among the school of thought who believe that Obasanjo do not have the right to lectures. I think experience cannot be bought. I keep saying it here. Patient, you are here today running this program. The moment you step out of this place, you have some ideas that could have used to improve this place, which you could sell to some of us or to somebody that is here right now. So I think Obasanjo, as a Nigerian, as a former leader, has the opportunity, has the right to tell us what is wrong and how we can improve upon it. Because,
really?
Yes, because look, let me tell you, Patience, when you are in power, a lot of things come to play. A lot of things, a lot of interest, a lot of things. And like I said, I posted the other day, there's someone who was in PDP before, who's now in APC, who actually told Mr. Jonathan not to call the present president, not to congratulate him that he has won the election. Have you now, if that man listened to him, we would not have had Nigeria by now, because a lot of things where there was a pent-up anger, everybody was ready to do whatever they can do. So it's only when you are out and that shield fall off your eyes, that's when you can say that, why can't I say this? So, however, I think Obasanjo had the opportunity to put Nigeria in the right path, which he didn't. And I don't believe he doesn't have the right to tell us, because a teacher is a teacher because he has learned.
Okay. All right. A lot of viewers here are also responding to this topic. This one says, "Good day to you all. I beg, OBJ is part of the cause of the problem. You should just find solution to the problem, not to reveal the cause. Thank you." Florence from Lagos sent that one in. Buchiano from Yenagoa says OBJ should leave Nigerian politics alone. After all, he had the chance to fix the country but did nothing in 8 years plus military. No result. Thanks. This other one says, if there is one man I respect in Nigerian politics, it's definitely Obasanjo. He is not perfect, because no one is, but he is very detribalized, articulate and balanced in the scheme of things.
It's like his name articulated.
All right, this other one, Unique from Ondo State says, former President Olusegun Obasanjo was the architect of this nation's problem. Other presidents are following his footsteps. Otta Farm as a case study. I pray God help us in Nigeria. Unique, sometimes you need to back up your claims. Okay. All right, this one is reacting to the former topic. Yakubu from Egbeda says, if APC is really fighting corruption, Oshiomole must be called to order. All right, this other one says, my submission is that Mr. Ruling Party chairman should face anything he sees there, because he forgot that people that sin with you will sin against you one day. All right, there's one I read here before that was saying something about he shouldn't complain. After all, he did not sleep in DSS cell like Fayoshe. Nigerians can be comical. All right, gentlemen, whether or not the conscious or unconscious decisions made by Nigerians is what has brought us to where we are now. But I think there is a consensus and an agreement on everyone's part that we do need to fix Nigeria.
And again, Patience, I think
for Nigeria to be
at
fixed.
this point we need more of a solution than a problem.
Exactly.
There are some churches in Nigeria today, when you go there, they will tell you, you will die. You will die. They don't bring the solutions to you. Today, I think our leaders...
That is a solution.
Dying as a solution. All right, Mr. Godi, we have just like 3 more minutes on the show, and we have one more topic to discuss. 33 billion naira fraud allegation. PDP takes on Vice President Osinbajo. The People's Democratic Party, Mr. Godi's party, has asked the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, to stop sermonizing and parading himself like a saint until he clears the air on the 33 billion naira fraud allegation by the House of Representatives. In a statement by spokesman Kola Ologbodiyan, the PDP said Nigerians were thoroughly appalled to learn from the House of Reps how Professor Simbajo, as acting president in June of 2017, unilaterally pulled 5.8 billion naira from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation, purportedly for emergency intervention on food in the Northeast, which has now turned scandalous. And there are several other allegations, even the one from the Central Bank of Nigeria, and it goes on and on. All right, gentlemen, 10 seconds each. Let's quickly comment on this. Akogun.
Well, let's see how it will play out.
That's all you have to say.
An
allegation is an allegation.
I'm even worried the way, the way we go about this corruption. Mr. President has not heard matter. Yes. The way we go about this corruption thing, you just think that corruption is working on the streets. It is not. And we must think Nigeria before we begin to make all this public, although the APC and their leadership started it, at this drop of the hat, they talk about corruption and how the previous administration is corrupt and how Nigerians are corrupt. Point is that is an allegation, it's yet to be proven, but again, it points to the fact that what I had said before, that we are accusing everybody, all of us.
Okay.
Whereas all of us are not that bad, so to speak.
Mr. Fosse.
I think Mr. Vice President, my very good pastor, should present himself and clear himself. I read a statement that he issued after the House of Assembly's statement.
House of Reps.
House of Rep, statement. It didn't quite go down well with me as a person that is leading the fight against corruption, as a person that has been very vocal in terms of talking against corruption. So I think he should come up clean by presenting himself and state how he spent the money. That's what he just wants to do.
Okay, let me just say something quickly.
Go ahead.
Aside the fact that we're saying it's a 33 billion naira fraud, my own question is there any missing 33 billion naira?
As far as PDP is concerned,
It's not a PDP.
any money.
It's the National Assembly.
Any money.
It's the National Assembly.
Any money is
It's
missing.
the House of Rep.
It's the
It's
National
not a
Assembly.
PDP
APC
thing.
controls
There
House
was
of
a
Reps.
public hearing at the House of Reps. So
Yeah.
it's not a PDP
It's not a PDP, so
allegation
you have to correct
only.
that.
Yes.
PDP only
No,
amplified
the
it.
story is about PDP allegation.
No, PDP only said, let him account for it.
Is
They-
PDP doing what they should be doing as an opposition party? I think they're doing what they should be doing.
That committee is made up of APC
Again,
members.
Okay.
they are not getting the point. The lead of the story is that APC said, PDP said, that 33 billion naira fraud.
Yeah.
That's why we are talking
All right,
about.
gentlemen. Akogun had to wait till the last minute to throw that in.
Oh my world.
It's well. Anyways, we'll see
it's
how
called
it goes.
experience.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out today.
Thank you.
Very interesting. I thought we'll have time to talk about the search of articles.
That's what I
Yeah.
wanted you to talk about.
Talk about
Jet.
this tomorrow.
But it's all good. Thank you, Mr. Godi Ofose. Thank
you,
you,
madam.
Mr. Peter Osangbe.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, Akogun Gani.
Always a pleasure.
Thank
you,
you for
Blossom.
joining. Thank you too.
But don't worry, you will blossom.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
will. We'll see you tomorrow.
Who's going to be the next anchor? So
Have yourself
watch
a
out
good
for her.
day. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
This gentleman, there's no stopping
Yeah.
there. We'll see you tomorrow.
They are talking about it.